Well, welcome back to Coaster Buddy, where we're here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach again for a very wet and dingy day. It looks like it's going to be quite quiet today. Coming in through the security gates, there was hardly anyone here, so we should be able to get some laps on Icon and hopefully get that ride in on Enso. Now there's going to be two vlogs from today's visit because I'm going to do a food tour which will get posted first, so if you hadn't already seen it, please go check that out. I'll be going around and showing you all the food options and the prices. But we're just going to have a walk around now. I'm not sure if anything's on staggered opening today, of course. The things that were scheduled for maintenance from my vlog last week for the start of the season, they're of course still closed. They won't be opening until around late spring and early summer. Yeah, it seems like everything's opening at 11 AM today. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what, there's absolutely no messing on Icon this morning. They're throwing the trains out. And you know what, a bit of rain will never stop a coaster enthusiast. Look, it's back around the queue because I'm not messing today. I've booked for Enso, which is £5 throughout March. So I'm going to go get my riding on there. Woo! I'm going to be absolutely soaking. I waited about 40 minutes there for Enso. There it goes again. That might actually be the best ride that I've had on Enso. The best spins I've ever got. That was really good. I got some amazing airtime. Honestly, it was quite breathtaking. I think the winds definitely helped with the spin today. But yeah, definitely worth the wait. I would say it is £5 of course, so the queue is much longer than normal. I would say normally Enso works really well as like a fast pass with an experience in it on most days, but you know, when it's a £5 you might as well. Let's see if we can capture it going off the launch. But yeah, I had some really nice moments. Sidewards on the top hat, that was quite intense, and then the whole section going around Steeplechase, I was backwards. Then in the airtime hills in the second half of the layout, I was backwards for most of that after the Junior Immelman, which is just over there after the second launch. And that was really good, very unpredictable. I really enjoyed that. Wow, running fabulous. I'd like to apologise if any of the footage today isn't great. It is still absolutely pouring it down here in Blackpool. A few rides were on staggered opening today, of course, Avalanche. They're currently doing a couple of walkthroughs of the brake run. Of course, I wouldn't expect Avalanche to really open in rain quite as bad as this because it is all friction based as it goes around in the trough. Give that a little wipe. I can just notice it's getting a bit blurry. Revolution is also on a staggered opening because of the weather today. But Icon's running partially empty trains because, well look, the queue is empty. It is basically walk on. But we can't stay on Icon all morning, so it's just gone 12. And we're going to go check out what's going on with some of the dark rides. Really good ride there on the Ghost train. Everything was working this week. A few bits were off last week. Yeah, very strong. I really enjoyed that. I have to say, with the knowledge of the ghost story of Cloggy, who is rumoured to live within the Ghost train, riding around on your own, it's a little tense. But yeah, it was nice to see that everything was up and running. Waited about 10 minutes in there, not too bad. But yeah, it's still pouring it down here. So See, Pleasure Beach, they do offer a scheme where if it rains continuously for I think 2 hours, you're entitled to a free visit. I'm not too sure if the visit is within like 2 weeks of your scheduled run or what, but I have to say, if they get the rest of the rides open, because Revolution and Avalanche are currently tested, then it's a pretty good time to come for very small queues. I don't think the big one's going to open over there because it is a little bit windy today. I'd say it's more on and off because right now it's very still, but then randomly there are some huge gusts, and I think it's just kind of not worth testing it for a certain amount of time, and then when it's finished its test cycle they have to check it again for wind. But yeah, I think we'll head round now to Alice in Wonderland. I think as we walk past I'll also show you where you can get your brand new ride photos for the Ghost Train, because that's something new that they're offering along with Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, it's nice to get on some dark rides while it's raining. Yeah, not a big queue at all for Alice over there. Wow. Yeah, normally it's packed. But yeah, here, this is the shop where you get your ride photos, so you can see an example over there of the Alice in Wonderland ones. And then there's examples over in that corner there where that TV is for the Ghost Train. They have some nice borders around them. They're quite nice pictures. But yeah, a reminder again for those of you who didn't see my opening day vlog. The ride photos on Ghost Train are when you go down that little drop in the middle. And on Alice in Wonderland, it's the second you go down the rabbit hole, the second those doors open, you get a little picture taken. But yeah, let's have a go on Alice in Wonderland, because it's a classic and it smells great. I do have to say as well, on the smell from the Ghost Train, it seems to have had a few scent pods added at the start. It just smells different and I quite like it. It's quite atmospheric. It's such a lovely ride. I find it fascinating just how compact the layout is in there. As you're going up towards the Cheshire Cat at the very end, where everything's upside down and on the ceiling, I like how you can look into other sections of the ride. I find that really interesting. But oh, it does smell so good in there. It really does. That's one of my favourite parts about the ride, is going around and seeing if I can spot where the scent pods are, because it's particularly sweet in those bits. But yeah, the ride opened in the 1960s. Was it 1962? Yeah, I can see it on the sign over there. Fun fact as well, Alice's voice that plays while you're waiting in the queue, that is actually Amanda Thompson herself, the owner of the park currently. Of course, Blackpool Pleasure Beach is still family owned. There's a lot of history in this park, which is always really great. I find it so interesting just how they balance the modern and also the kind of history and heritage of the park. Of course, Valhalla not reopening until I think May 20th. Oh, I'm so wet today, I might as well. I don't think I could possibly get more wet. But yeah, still really, really quiet. I really don't think we're going to see any crowds here today, because it is just so hostile, the weather today. Let's see if I can sneak on this go of Derby races. They're just currently loading up a cycle, so I'll see if I can dash on. Nice and generous cycle there on Derby Racer. Of course, it's very quiet, so they can run it for a little bit longer. We definitely got a full song in there. I do love Derby Racer. It really takes the concept of a carousel and switches it up quite a bit. Now, you can see that they're all on these like planks of wood, and you can kind of see that one's got the front open at there. Now, this type of carousel used to have the capability to move back and forth along these tracks here. Of course, that now doesn't happen because that is a lot of maintenance. I believe there's one other type of these in the world. I don't know if it's still open, but that did retain its functionality. But yeah, very impressive. And even still, the horses do rock back and forth a bit, so it is a slightly more realistic feeling of being on a horse, and it does ramp up some speed. My personal favourite is the outer horse. He does feel the most thrilling of them all. But yeah, if you are riding with a child who needs to be accompanied by an adult, you do have to go on the inner horses. But yeah, Love a bit of Derby Racer. Let's see if I can get some off-ride footage in a second. Wow. Every time I pass a Victas, I do have to gawk at it a little bit. And then we turn around and River Caves still sat in honestly what can only be considered as a state of disrepair now. We've got a palm tree just kind of hanging off to the side. I'd be interested to see if they do actually use River Caves for Journey to Hell again this year, because they did use the trough as a walkthrough for part of one of the scare mazes last year. Now if that happens again, then there is little hope for River Caves. Like, I really want it to reopen sooner rather than later, because it's just gonna keep rotting as it is now. Like, you can see the rust on the drop. Like, it needs that TLC now. And I understand that it's probably quite costly because it is a heritage piece. It's very old, and I understand that it did look like it had something structurally going on with it. I've always said that in the Valley of the Kings, the ceilings always looked a little bit iffy. So whether it was a structural issue with that ceiling or not, you know, I just really miss River Caves. And it'd be nice to get another update from it, because they did post a video of the inside of it. I think it was a year or two ago now. And they were promising that they were going through and redoing everything. But so far there's not been any more updates. But here is a little look at Infusion. The queue is short for Infusion, but can you tempt me to go on it? I'm not sure. Oh, it does look the part. But this is also a coaster with a bit of its own story. It used to be, I believe, at Southport Pleasureland, which was a former sister park to Blackpool. Of course, Southport Pleasureland is still open. It's called Southport Adventure Park now, I believe. But there it used to be called Traumatizer, and it used to be bright red. And now it's here and it's blue. It used to be fully suspended over water. It had a little world record plaque, being the first coaster to be fully suspended over water. But yeah, it doesn't really hold that anymore. It'd be nice to see them fill it all back up, but I imagine that there's probably just some access needed to the supports. But we still have some of the fountains down here. I'm stood in a puddle. We've got a member of staff swapping over on the... Yeah, of course.
Actually, hi guys. Hello. YouTube name?
Coaster Buddy.
Coaster Buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll follow you.
Perfect, thank you. See you. Nice surprise. Just had a little bit of a bite to eat there, and now I'm getting back on some rides. Avalanche isn't showing much of a queue at all. I'm not even sure if it is open, but it says 10 minutes wait on the app, so I'm assuming that it is open. But Revolution is now open, so I'm going to go have a look at that. Only 8 minutes it's saying on the app for the queue time. That's not bad at all. Just last week I waited over 30 minutes for it. So it just goes to show how quiet it is today. But I will also be getting on Icon another number of times, because it is walk on. It's crazy today, so I'm going to get my rides in. Laughing Man. Avalanche is open by the looks of it, but I haven't seen it running. So we're going to walk up past the stagnant big one, which has been sat closed. It hasn't tested once today. And we're going to go up to Revolution, where I can't even see anyone on the stairs. That's very rare for Revolution, even though normally Revolution doesn't get too big of a queue. Eddie Stobart as well. That's on an extended closure. That's what everywhere is saying, but I'm pretty sure that Eddie Stobart will not be returning. But we never know, they might surprise us. But like I say, when they ripped out Grand Prix, they wasted no time. The second that they announced a closure, the second the gates closed on that ride, they were there pulling up the track. It did not stay for very long. The demolition work was quite impressive with how hasty it was. But yeah, absolutely no queue on Revolution. I might go on Steeplechase first though, because I just thought I have had a big meal and I feel like I might not be feeling very full for too much longer if I go on a coaster that is as forceful as that. I feel like that might not be a smart idea. But yeah, let's walk over to Steeplechase. You can actually see that the big one's chain is slowly going up. Yeah, that thing is not testing today. It is just too windy, unfortunately. But you know what? We'll give Steeplechase a go. I wonder who's winning today, because last week I was trying to plan it so I'd win, and I didn't plan well enough because I still lost anyway. Oh, the wind down here is definitely picking up. Oh, my aim is terrible. I could never. Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. You are? Oh, yeah! Woo! Really? That's impressive. I've never seen it won. Well, every time I go on Steeplechase, it's a total non-starter. I don't know if I've ever won when I've been on Steeplechase. I always try to cheat and I look for whoever's winning before me, and then they must purposefully slow it down, because there is no way that I cannot win on Steeplechase. But we're gonna head down to Icon before we get on Revolution. I'm still feeling full. And I'd like to keep that yummy food within me and not on the track of a 1979 classic. They're also teasing the 130-year celebration merchandise, because of course that is how long this park has been in operation for. It's crazy. What an anniversary for them. Just a look at the current queue for Icon. It's looking quite small. I might actually have a peek at what Enso is looking like in that queue, because I feel like it must have gone down from this morning. There's some guests on Enso there. Wow. Oh, I do love how it seems to kind of always throw you backwards on the Junior Immelman. That is one of the highlights. It kind of advances that element, because that element is already fabulous enough. You get loads of airtime, but when you're going backwards on it, going backwards on anything adds an extra level of thrill to it. And that is also the case with the lovely Revolution, which I'll be going on in just a moment. It's definitely walk on up there. I can't even see anyone in the station right now. They must be really struggling to fill trains up there, because I haven't seen it this empty since probably COVID. Yeah, and even then there was still small queues for things. But today you're really not waiting long for anything at all. So if you can handle being a bit soggy, then plan for a rainy day. It seems that it had gone into time-lapse mode. I hope that the rest of my footage isn't also in time-lapse mode. I will check that in a second. Oops! I think that's the first time it's done that. But it looks like I'm going to be getting a front row ride on Rev, which also means I'm getting a back row ride too. This is one of the few rides where you can get a front and a back row ride in the same go. Avalanche is now running. It stopped testing and it's going through with full trains. Might have to go give that a ride before I go over to Enso, because that queue is big. Oh, off it goes. Oh, and you get a bit of a shake in the station as well for an added thrill. Next streak. Oh, I love the kinetics of this park, the way that everything is so close to it, everything else. It's great. But yeah, I will check back through my footage and make sure that I'm not missing anything. Yeah. Got a bit of sun now. Wow. Icon's down at the moment. So to be fair, I was right to go on Revolution. It was a good ride there. Front row, nice and forceful. I tell you what, it does make all the difference being just one row in front and actually being front row. Because yeah, seeing the track in front of you and being able to see the catch car pushing you backwards, it adds a little extra bit of spice, a bit of extra thrill there. Just walking through the garden, which was formerly where the Grand Prix Helix was. I think we're going to go have a look at Wallace and Gromit. And then I might bob into Nickelodeon Land, have a look around there. Nickelodeon Land always looks great when it's nice and sunny, but I can't believe it. This morning there was fog, could hardly see, and now it's warm. Yeah, this definitely wasn't forecasted. But yeah, I'll just have to see what happened with my camera going into time-lapse mode, because I didn't notice when it did that, so hopefully it hasn't like changed any of the clips from my food vlog. Yikes. Oh, it's lovely now. Yeah, I came off of Icon this morning, absolutely soaking wet through, and now it looks like it never even rains by the sky. I just thought as I'm walking towards the queue I can actually show you, here's where Pleasure Beach Radio used to be. It seems like they're moving out a lot of the equipment in there, and then that was where the fortune teller was, in that building there. So that's all been gutted. All the decals on the front have been removed. The interior's been stripped. Yeah, looks like they're making way for something around there, and they're currently in the process of gutting the station of Grand Prix. All the cladding from the outside has been removed. And yeah, it looks like they're clearing out quite a bit of space. A lot of people are suggesting that the dome area right there where the arcade used to be, that will get demolished as well. Now, it does open up a little bit more land, but of course you've got to remember that Wallace and Gromit and River Caves intertwine around this area, so it would only really gain this top bit. There isn't really much underneath it that it could use, because of course there's dark ride stuff happening down there. But yeah, we'll have to see what they do with this space, because obviously that used to be the station for the monorail back in the day as well. So they've got quite a bit more to work with now. But yeah, let's get a riding on here. We need to go see my favourite Feathers McGraw. Oh, well, I really wish they'd sell more Feathers McGraw merch. All they have is this chicken. Oh, I do love this character. He's my absolute favourite. I showed these off in my last vlog from the opening day of this season. These are warmies. You put them in the microwave and you warm them up like a hot water bottle. Those are $24.95. They have them for all the mainline characters. They have one for Gromit as well, and also Shaun the Sheep. But yeah, they have some cute stuff. I quite like these vases here. It's Feathers McGraw. Quite like that. It does quite resemble when he gets trapped in a bottle at the end. But yeah, there's some neat merchandise in here. Obviously the only stuff that really matters to me is the Feathers McGraw stuff. My absolute favourite. I would have a wall-to-wall collection of this character if I could. I'm just such a huge fan. But yeah, that was walk-on, and everything was working as well. I really can't complain. They've been doing such a good job today as well, all the ride operations. Everyone's been really sweet, and I've just been having a really good time. I did say in the opening day vlog that I hoped that operations would continue to be good, and yeah, they've been handling it really well. As I passed Avalanche, it did look really busy, but honestly they can't help that. Maximum it can run is 2 trains. I can't tell if it's just on one today. I honestly think it is just on one train today. So the queue is outside of the building, which means it's a queue I won't be waiting in. But yeah, I do love Avalanche. It would be nice to get back on there, but I find that the wait is quite long. Yeah, we're just going to keep having a walk around now and see what else we can get on. We're going to go wherever the wind takes us now, because we have about 2 hours until park close. So we're just going to go with the flow. Oh, it's still a bit windy. I can see why Big One hasn't been testing. As I walked past, they were just turning off all the lights in the station. So I think any of the ride operators who were on shift today are going home, because yeah, you can probably hear it on the microphone, it is a bit windy. Well, you scarcely see it this quiet, so I think we'll have a go on Big Dipper. Recently celebrated its centenary. Very impressive. Hey!
What's your YouTube?
Coaster Buddy.
Okay.
But yeah, let's have a ride on this. It's not often that you see it on anything less than a 40-minute wait, because it can only run on one train now. But yeah, let's see how this is riding today. Oh, well, that gave my head a wiggle. I was on a wheel seat there, and any enthusiast knows that a wheel seat on a wooden coaster is the most janky. You're getting all of the force of the track and all of the rattle going on. But you know what? It's part of the charm. You know, we wouldn't have coasters like Icon and the Big One today if we didn't have coasters like Big Dipper, because it's one of the first ever to have an up-stop wheel. Off it goes. Yeah, really great experience. So we're going to head up now through Nickelodeon Land and then head back when Icon is done testing. It's just going through its rollback test right now, so it shouldn't take too long, I don't think. Of course, when it opened, it wasn't exactly as it is today. It used to just be a standard out and back layout. It never used to go all the way back down towards the Big One, but they added the Star Hill hump there, which goes over the top of the pathway by where Burger King is. That isn't original to the ride. They added that in later because they decided that it needed to be more thrilling. People are asking for more and more ambitious rides. So Big Dipper is really a product of how audience interest in theme parks changed over the years. Looks like the Enso queue is back open. Very good timing from me, so I will be getting straight on there. I've got to be the first rider on Enso. No wait, sounds good to me. Well, I'm not normally used to that much spinning on Enso. Wow, that one was intense. I don't think I've ever spun like that on the Junior Immelman. I didn't know which way I was going. Oh, I got a few rotations on there. Let's see if I can catch it going on the second launch. The UK's only double launch. Running absolutely brilliantly today. Oh, Enso going round as well. Yeah, Enso's been spinning really well today. I feel like in previous years I've only really got like one full rotation and then it just kind of goes side to side. But I've been being pulled backwards to the side. Oh, the top hat has never had such a kick. But yeah, I am definitely team back row for any ride in general. So I'm going to be biased towards Enso. I know some people don't agree that it's the ultimate way to experience Icon, but I think for £5 it does make the, you know, the added price point have a bit of a sweeter taste, because, you know, when it is 15, that really is a luxury, and clearly people are willing to wait 40 minutes for the experience because the queue has been that today. So I think maybe they should keep it at £5. If you think one person paying £15, but then there's less of them, but there's been full groups going up and doing Enso, that's more than £15 with all of them combined. So I think they should keep it at a £5. I think it'll definitely work better for them. But I'm gonna have to stop running my mouth because my SD card on my camera is getting low. I think I have about 10 minutes of footage left before my camera is zapped. So I'm going to go around and finish up my food vlog, and then I'll also finish up this vlog with any new rides that I go on. I'll probably just be doing re-rides for the rest of this day. I did only predict that this was going to be a smaller vlog, but I'll take you around bits of Nickelodeon Land. But yeah, then I'll close it up once I've done the rest of my re-rides. There's about an hour and a half left of park day today. Very quiet here in Nickelodeon Land. Airbender with no wait. It's like being back at half term. But yeah, Nickelodeon Land does close an hour before the main park closes as well, so bear that in mind. But yeah, it is quite quiet today, just with the weather this morning being terrible. So barely any queues. Diego's Rainforest Rescue. That goes up into the sky, and then you can spin it around with the wheels in the middle. I've even taken my gloves off. It's warmed up a little bit now, which is quite nice. Blue Flyer, the junior wooden coaster in the area. But this is a nice area when it's sunny. Like, the colours really pop. You'll see them if you've watched my February half-term vlog from this area, where I go in depth about all the rides. And I got plenty of re-rides in this area. But because it was sunny then, oh, the colours looked really nice. Yeah, this is a great summer area. Rugrats. Tiny, but it can be a super soaker for sure. Nick Streak has been running around all day today on about a 20-minute wait. Not too bad. No one's on it. Oh, even with no one on it, it still gets a good little splash there. I was shocked that when I came for the Feb half term I didn't get absolutely soaked, but I came off bone dry. That has never happened before. Anyway, I'm going to head up into the rest of the park and get on some re-rides before park close, and then I'll wrap it up outside of the park. But I will pop in and update you if there's any other rides that I go on, or if I have any other comments to share with you. Oh, hello! Oh, I always wish I could just stroke them. They always look so soft and fluffy. As it happens, I do actually have some more insightful commentary. Because I realised that in the scene with the bride, where you get that little jump scare, turns out the postman is not a postman at all. I've somehow only just figured out that that is actually the groom. Which is a little bit of an embarrassing moment for me. Once again, another good ride. It seems like the Pleasure Beach is gearing up for the very soon arrival of the Evictas merch here, and also the 130th anniversary merchandise too. That's very exciting. I can't wait for that to come in. But it has just gone 5 o'clock, it's on the dot. Just had a ride on Avalanche, the first of my season. That was a nice little ride. I didn't wait too long for it, about 15-20 minutes. It was just on the stairs. It has got a low throughput, bless it, but it's still a good little ride. There's Launchpad, going at the end of the day. Sun seems to be setting now, it's getting a little bit darker. It's been a really good day here. Literally no queues all day because of the rain at the start. Once that rain has cleared, it hasn't really rained that much again. A light shower every once in a while, but it's been fairly sunny. I can't really complain with the weather for the rest of the day. And I also can't complain with the weather because I was on Icon while it was absolutely chucking it down, so it didn't make much of a difference to me. But yeah, I've had a really nice day today, and I hope you've enjoyed coming along for this vlog. I have no idea how long I've recorded for. I said I was going to make this a short vlog, but I think I threw that out the window at lunchtime. But yeah, I've had a really good time. My ride count has just hit 15 for today. I've had 5 rides on Icon. I've really got my money's worth on Icon, 2 on Enso, with it being £5 each. So I haven't even made up the ticket price of Enso on a normal day during the season, which would normally be 15. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to like, comment and subscribe to stay up to date with the channel. And yeah, that's it for this vlog. Hope you've enjoyed. Bye bye.